Hello and welcome, truth seekers. Isn't it time we stood our ground? I'm sure I'm not alone in this. The pattern of wishful thinking is all too common these days. It is time to be aware of how the truth is being abused and consider what we can do about it. But first, let me make some statements of what I consider to be some basic truths. Number one, simple good intentions are not enough to affect major positive change. 2. Many scams are wrapped up inside the appearance of good intentions. Number 3. No one is going to save us by handing out huge sums of money. We need to save ourselves. Number 4. Facts and evidence truly do matter. Number 5. We have a responsibility to do research and not just go with what resonates with our past belief or what fits in with the dreams we may hold. The overall message is this: all too often, what will resonate and seem believable to the spiritually aware people will simply be what is in line with what they are hoping for. In other words, too many people confuse their wishes with what can be achieved. They wind up confusing hopium with truth. One person who has explained the truth seeker's situation best is probably Mark Passio. At the bottom of this YouTube message is a link to his excellent video called New Age Bullshit and the Suppression of the Sacred Masculine. Yes, it really is 7 hours long, and the more time you spend listening to it, the more rewarding it will be for you. So what can be done to seek the truth? The first and foremost thing is to insist on evidence and facts which back up any cause that you want to support. To improve your personal discernment, you really must do some basic research and seek out facts, not opinion. Don't just buy into something because others are telling you how wonderful the idea is and how spiritual the intent behind it seems to be. Those who have done so must by now have had ample evidence that relying solely on resonance and ignoring facts is a great formula to be fooled. Three examples of stories or causes which seemed hopeful but have not yet delivered the goods are the RV, OPPT, and Swiss Indo. These three hopeful messages have been widely embraced by New Agers, but as you all know, or should by now know, they are not delivering on their promise. I call them BEWOEs, spelled BEWOE, and that stands for beliefs entirely without evidence. So to back up my comments here, the dinar has not been revalued despite many promised deadlines. Second, banks are nowhere near foreclosure, almost 2 years after Heather's UCC filings, and Swiss Indo has not handed out the money it has promised for its good causes over 1 year ago. So how could you have known that they would fail? Many genuine truth seekers kept saying this, but they were ignored by true believers. How did they know? They used a process I call SWOTT, which is SWOTT, and that stands for seeking whole of the truth. This means relying on evidence. Simple things like comparing Swiss Indo's huge and unbelievable claims of their funding resources with the size of deposits on bank balance sheets or the size of global GDP. If you compare the promises with objective measures, the promises fall apart. We should all have seen that. By the way, It is not only New Age or beliefs that can be swatted. I would say that the official story of 9/11 is another BEWOE. If you really look into the official story behind the fall of the Twin Towers and compare it with the actual evidence, you will find there is little or no convincing evidence behind the official story. It is simply what we were told to believe. But a truth seeker will research the facts, then he or she will have found there were far too many holes in the official story. It is a BEWOE, a belief without evidence. Those of us who want a better world need to get past the habit of just hoping for something better. We need to stop grabbing hold of those hopeful stories that come along concerning what might save us. Instead, we must test against the evidence those stories that are brought to us and seek out a truth supported by facts. I hasten to add that I do not think I have all the answers. In my own mind, a file is rarely closed out with a final, absolute truth known. If someone comes along with new facts and concrete evidence that is contrary to what I have seen before, I will reevaluate it. That may mean comparing one set of facts with another which contradicts it and working out a bigger truth. Or maybe sometimes rejecting the less convincing facts. So the idea here is to keep an open mind and be guided by the facts themselves and not what you hope is true or what seems to be guided by good intentions. You should know by now that appearances can be deceiving and that many people hold good intentions but simply cannot deliver on their dreams or promises. If you get sucked in supporting a BEWOE, chances are you will regret it. These positive stories that are supported only by hopium and are without solid evidence have a way of disappointing many people in the end. The truth will win out.